All right. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. All right, I think we're on the air, folks. We are on the air. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this special Birdwatcher Channel report. I'm your host, BW, a.k.a. the Birdwatcher. Listen, this was not a planned thing. I don't plan on being here long, but I've got something I need to get off my chest, and now's the time to do it. Folks, as you may be aware, the Orioles have one very clear need going into the 2025 season, and particularly the postseason if we can make it, and that is a frontline starter for this rotation. And with Grayson Rodriguez now out with a elbow issue that who knows how long that's going to be. Kyle Bradish is not going to be ready till the second half of the season. Who knows what kind of shape he'll be in. Cade Povich looks really good in spring training, so I'm very happy to see that we do have some depth in the farm that we can turn to help this rotation out. But the bottom line is, this division right now is in the hands of Mike Elias and pulling off a trade for a frontline starter. We need to do it, and we need to do it right now. I've been giving him a pass during the offseason in the winter months. Unlike most pundits, I completely understand how we missed out on re-signing Corbin Burnes. We never had a shot to do it. It wasn't about the money for Corbin. He went to play where he wanted to play. I look at an arm like a Max Fried that went to the Yankees. And in my view, I think the Yankees paid him ace money when he's not really an ace. He's more of a number two guy, but until they add somebody else, with Garrett Cole going down for the year, he is their ace. But the fact of the matter is the Yankees went out and got him. The Red Sox, meanwhile, they trade for one starter, Garrett Crochet. They sign another through free agency, Walker Buehler. Their rotation has definitely strengthened. I am pleased with the two pitchers that we have brought in, starters, Tomoyuki Sagano and Charlie Morton. I think they're nice pieces to a rotation, but we have no depth at this point. We have no depth. Right now, Cade Povich is in this rotation because he has to be. Okay? We got Zach Eflin announced as the opening day starter. I'm happy for Zach. I saw his Instagram post with his little baby girls and his wife giving the announcement to him, Brandon Hyde in his office. Pats on the back all around. That's great stuff. It really warms my heart. It absolutely warms my heart. I love this team. And that's why I just want so badly for us to take advantage of this window of opportunity that is presented us. Because for the most part, this team is built to win. For the most part, we need the frontline starter. And right now, things are at an impasse for Mike Elias. Marlins and trying to acquire Sandy Alcantara, former Cy Young Award winner in the National League back in 2022. He blew out his arm. He had the Tommy John. I believe Tommy John. If it wasn't, it was an arm issue that put him out for a full season. He did come back last year. His numbers weren't quite as good as they were before the Tommy John, but that's to be expected for a lot of pitchers when they first return. Jack Flaherty, we can look to as an example of a guy that showed some fatigue in the second half of the year he came back from Tommy John, and that just happened to be the second half where we traded for him, and we got the not too good version of Jack Flaherty. You got to strike while the iron's hot. But here's the deal. If the Yankees are capable of pulling off a late spring trade to acquire a frontline starter to replace Garrett Cole, if they are capable of pulling that off, that means we are capable of pulling that off. And if we are capable of pulling that off, then we are doing something that has a double impact, okay? We get the guy we need, and we block that guy from going to the Yankees. If we sit here on our hands, I was willing to give Mike Elias a pass because, again, I don't think we had a chance at Corbin Burnes. I think Max Fried was asking for too much money, too many years. Yeah, we could have gotten Walker Buehler on a one-year deal instead of Charlie Morton if he wanted a guy that was younger, but I'm okay with I've liked the way Sugano's looked so far. By the way, 3 1/3 scoreless innings again today. He gave up 1 hit. He hasn't given up a run all spring, over 9 innings pitched. Sugano looks the real deal. We're not expecting him to blow us away, but that's why he was obtained for a 1-year deal for what, $15 million. Very fair. A very accomplished pitcher in the Japanese professional league. But listen, Mike, buddy, baby, I hope this video somehow finds you, man. I hope this video pops up in your algorithm. Maybe a buddy of yours finds it for some strange reason. I know I'm a nobody. I know my channel is tiny, but the community is growing. So cheers to that. But listen, man, I am pleading you, dude. I am pleading you. This is going to be, look, last year, trade deadline, we wanted a pitcher. You made a bad trade. Look, it was a bad trade. I think you know that. I think you know it was a bit of an overpay for Connor Norby and Kyle Stowers to get Trevor Rogers in return from the Marlins. Okay? Norby and Stowers, major league ready. They went right into the Marlins team. Now, I know the Marlins are not a very good team. If Norby and Stowers joins a contender, they're probably not starting. But the fact of the matter is, we gave away major league caliber talent to get back Trevor Rogers. All right, that was a mistake. Okay, we can chalk that up. Eloy Jimenez. Why we pursue a Chicago White Sox player on a team that is historically the worst team ever, and he epitomized what that team was all about. A lack of hustle. This guy does not care. He was bad for the team. It was bad mojo for the team. So, look, Elias, I think overall, you're a good GM. Drafting and building up the farm, I give you chef's kiss. It's great stuff, particularly with the position players. Why we seem to have trouble drafting and developing pitching, I don't know. But Cade Povich looks pretty good. So fingers crossed there. We got a couple other guys in the system. Maybe they might pan out. But listen, it's time to pull off the trade. That is the number one message I want to get across to you, Mike. And look, the secret is out. Like, the teams out there who are willing to court for a trade, you know, the Marlins, maybe the Padres of Michael King and Dylan Cease, if they're still looking to move them, if the Mariners want to finally budge and give up one of their starters to get some offense back because they need it, if any of these can finally play out here in the final days of spring, we have to beat the Yankees to the punch, which means we're probably going to have to overpay to get Sandy Alcantara or to get Michael King or to get a Luis Castillo or to get a Pablo Lopez if he's still being rumored. He was a month ago. I haven't heard much. But we got to do it. And it looks like the best thing we can give that wouldn't hurt us is we have to move on from one of Ryan Mountcastle or Kobe Mayo, because in general they're taking up the same spot. When they're both on the team, one of them is not going to be playing very often, right? Right-handed power hitter, or, you know, Ryan Mountcastle, I guess you can call him a power hitter. The guy's hit home runs in 3 straight games now. His bat is red hot right now. He's licking his chops. The wall's been moved in from left field. He's got Toronto. He's got the Rogers Center on his schedule to start the season. We know he rakes there. So Mountcastle looks very excited. But at the same time, when you talk about trading, stocks go up, stocks go down. And, you know, if you asked me 6 months ago, would you trade Kobe Mayo for just fill in the blank? I'd say no. Kobe Mayo is an untouchable. Kobe Mayo, for me, is a guy that could be a 35, 40 homer guy. The guy is just built for it. I think he belongs at first base. Eventually, Mountcastle is going to go, and if we trade him, Mayo just takes that spot. Westberg's at third now. We're all set. But then you look at time going by. You saw Mayo's cup of coffee in the bigs. Not too impressed. Now, that doesn't mean I'm writing him off. I wouldn't write anybody off that quickly. But in the spring here, he's had trouble, although last couple of games he's shown a little bit of promise. The point I want to make is that You have to move on from one of these guys, Mike. You have to. That's where the redundancy in our offense is very strong, and we have one proven veteran major league player that with a couple of years of team control left, so there's value there in a trade, Ryan Mountcastle. And then you've got the blue chip prospect, still a top 10 overall prospect in the major league pipeline, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Certainly top 20, Kobe Mayo. All right, so you got to figure out, what are you going to do? Do you believe enough in Kobe Mayo? Because if you do, then let's move on from Ryan Mountcastle. As much as it stinks, I mean, the guy just hit his third straight home run in as many games he's raking this spring. And like I said, I can't wait to see what he does at the Rogers Center on opening day. But if that's what it takes, that's what we have to do. And then we probably play Ryan O'Hearn at first base. We're going to start him at first against right-handed pitching regardless. And then that DH spot, against right-handed pitching, Mountcastle really isn't all that necessary. You can get around that. You could have Mullins in center field with Cowser and O'Neill in the corners and have Heston Kjerstad DH against right-handed pitching. So it's like you could actually drop Mountcastle from the lineup and actually add a left-handed bat against right-handed pitching. And then when you face lefties, you still have Kobe Mayo. Even though Mayo hasn't looked all that good, you could at least give him a position where he's only facing lefties. You ease him in a little bit. And Ryan O'Hearn is getting, 2 out of 3 at-bats at that spot. That's the way for me. Mayo isn't going to be up this season. Well, is there a crystal ball? Mounties defense can't be replaced by anyone on the roster. So you would be willing to just go with the rotation as it is right now and allow the Yankees to add a Sandy Alcantara when we could block that trade and get him ourselves. That wouldn't be worth the trade-off of Mounties defense versus Ryan O'Hearn's defense. I get it. I get Mountcastle has got a good glove. I do. You can't have everything, though. And eventually, we do have to make a choice, don't we, Pigtown? We have to make a choice. Somebody between Mayo and Mountcastle. We need an arm. Tell me who's going, man. Who do you want to go with? I'm open to keeping either one because I get it. It's a hard decision, but it's a decision. The worst decision is no decision. The worst decision is a non-action for this. We need to block the Yankees. Even the Red Sox are interested in Alcantara. And if Alcantara is not the guy, the Yankees are picking up the phone and trying to get a frontline starter. And that's my thing. If they wind up pulling it off, that means we failed. That means this offseason we failed. There's a lot of Oriole fans out there that will say that we failed already. We didn't retain Corbin Burns, even though we really couldn't. We didn't go get another ace, even though the closest thing to it was Max Fried, and honestly, I think he was overpaid. We couldn't pull off a trade for a Garrett Crochet. A division rival did it instead. So maybe we don't want to do a one-year rental. A lot of Oriole fans seem to not want to do a Dylan Cease or a Michael King because they don't like the one-year rental concept, although I don't really see a whole big problem with it as long as you're not giving up too much in return. I thought Joey Ortiz and a compensation pick in DL Hall for 1 year of Corbin Burns, I thought that was fair. And, I mean, you get what you pay for, right? Now, what I really didn't like was Connor Norby and Kyle Stowers for Trevor Rogers. That was an overpay. But for this situation right here, right now, we need to overpay in the trade. I said Kobe Mayo was untouchable. I'm willing to what do you call it? Walk it back. Okay? I'm willing to walk it back. We need this arm. This season could be so good for us. The window is there. The American League in general is weak compared to the National League. And yet I still see pundits out there with the Yankees going down with injuries with Luis Gil and Giancarlo Stanton and Garrett Cole now out for the year. People are now saying, well, the Red Sox, they're gonna leapfrog the Yankees. And everybody's just leaving the Orioles out in the breeze. And you know why? Because they're all saying our pitching isn't good enough. Now, I don't agree with them. I think we still have what it takes to win the division. I'm more concerned about having a frontline starter ready for October because that's where we need that pitcher the most. All right, we can rack up wins with this team. I'm not worried about that. Averaged 96 wins over the last 2 seasons. 2 years ago, our opening day starter was Kyle Gibson, okay? We didn't know Kyle Bradish was going to emerge the way he did that season and sort of become the ace. But when you look at that rotation and you look at the cast of characters around a very young team in 2023, we won 101 games with that team. I know this team can repeat that. I think Elias went out there this winter and added a lot of nice complementary pieces, nice ways to platoon between right-handed and left-handed pitching, just complementary players for the bench, and like I said, platoon situations, a way for Kjerstad to get more at-bats in the lineup this season, because I feel like if we re-signed Santander, he would have remained the everyday player he should be, whereas with Tyler O'Neill, against right-handed pitching and his injury history, you could afford to maybe sit him a couple of days, and you get Kjerstad in there one way or the other, whether DH or in the outfield. I like the way on paper this team is built. I like it. I really do. It's just we need more pitching. We need a guy at the top. You put a guy at the top, and then everything, every level beneath it sort of is an upgrade, right? From the top to the bottom. Anyway, I didn't plan on interacting with chat. I got my breakfast over here. I didn't put up the green screen, nothing. I just wanted to jump on because Mike, pick up the phone, dude. If we got to overpay, we got to overpay. I don't want to lose one of our blue chip prospects, and Samuel Basallo is absolutely untouchable. I'm not on crazy pills, okay? I get it. Basallo, not on the trade table. Not. I can't wait for this kid. Mayo, I'm willing to listen now. I'm just willing to listen. It's got to be Mayo or Mountcastle, though. First of all, if anybody knows anything about baseball, first base is the easiest position to replace. Now, I know Pigtown was talking about defensively, and look, I don't discredit that point. That is a very valid point. Defense at first base is a valuable thing to have. A guy that can pick those one-hoppers over to first and just, stop doubles from going down the right field line. Mountcastle does that for us. That's great. All right. Now, are we planning on keeping him beyond next season? Because if we're not, much as I like him, his stock might be as high as it's ever going to be in terms of trade value. And that's how you got to look at it. Right now, if we were to move Kobe Mayo, I don't know if his value is as good as it was this time last year when it was nothing but positive news about him raking in the minors. Now we've seen him get a taste of the bigs, and he didn't produce. And we've seen him in the spring, at least until the last couple of games, really struggle. One for his first 23, I believe. Just getting behind in the count, 0-2, almost every plate appearance. It looked a lot like Jackson Holiday in his first call-up with the O's last season in the bigs. Just a guy that was trying a little too hard and maybe a little bit overwhelmed with the pressure of the situation. I don't know. I know Kobe Mayo has what it takes to shine in the bigs. I mean, again, the dude is just built that way. When the ball hits the bat, it gets hit very, very hard. And he's going to make a team very, very happy, I think, eventually. But again, we got a window right now where the Yankees have been weakened. They lost Juan Soto, and now they don't have Garrett Cole either. That is a Hall of Fame, probably first ballot Hall of Fame hitter walking away, and a first ballot Hall of Fame pitcher out for the count. You gotta put your foot on the gas. You got to put your foot on the gas. You got to go out there and get the arm that we need, because they're out there looking for it right now. Google Sandy Alcantara, folks. Google the name Sandy Alcantara right now, and you will see nothing but headlines of the Yankees trying to get this guy right now. I even got one with the Red Sox. Newsweek, 23 hours ago. Red Sox trade idea would send $56 million Cy Young star Alcantara to Boston. Do you want that, Oriole fans? Do you want to see, when you know we've got the prospects necessary to pull off a trade for a frontline starter, and we've already seen the Red Sox go out and deal for a Garrett Crochet in the offseason, are you going to be happy to watch a Yankee or a Red Sox trade for another big-time pitcher when we know that's what we need? You got to go out there and get the deal done, Mike, and you might have to overpay. If there's one time to do it, this is the time. Because a Sandy Alcantara, that is a major impact arm. That's not Trevor Rogers. He is a Cy Young Award winner, and he eats innings. I believe the year he won the Cy Young, he had 6 complete games. This guy can complete games. This is a 9-inning guy. This is a true ace. Who's 1 year after his Tommy John recovery year, where he just went 7-12, 4.14 ERA. I know it's not that impressive. You can't look at a record. He's on the Marlins, but the ERA a little over 4. That's about a run higher than his ERA is around 3. All right, when he's on, and again, he'll eat innings. He'll eat so many innings. We need this guy, and if it's not him, we need something. If Pablo Lopez, a name that was thrown out there once or twice in the winter, if that's still a possibility, let's talk to the Twins. San Diego, they've got a couple of arms. They're rentals. Maybe we don't have to give up a Mayo for something like that. But we have to do something. We have to do something. I mean, maybe Dylan Cease, maybe I can part with Mountcastle and like a low-end prospect for 1 year of Cease. I wouldn't like it, but it needs to be done because 2 years of Mountie versus 1 year of Cease, I know it sounds unfair, but we need the pitching more than we need Mountcastle. We just do. Yeah, Bradfield's not going to do it. Not for a 1 year. That's what I'm saying. Like San Diego, that's the problem. They're not realistic with some of these trade offers that I've heard. My retort to the San Diego front office is take a look at what the Orioles did with the Brewers the previous year for a similar situation. A 1 year top line starter. We gave up DL Hall, Joey Ortiz, and a compensation pick. That is the kind of value you should be expecting. Actually, you shouldn't even expecting that much because Dylan Cease is no Corbin Burns, in my humble view. I think, if anything, a little bit less ought to be able to get that deal done. But no, the Padres want a lot more. So, yeah, San Diego isn't my first choice to look to be a trade partner with. All I'm saying is we have to do everything humanly possible to block the Yankees from getting a very good arm to replace Garrett Cole. Okay? Right now they are hurting, and we have a chance to prevent them from getting stronger. We've got to do that. All right, let me that's pretty much it, Mike. Honestly, dude. Yeah. We got to do it. You got to block. You got to step in. Again, you never know what's going to happen with any of these moves. You never know what's going to pan out. Yeah, like Jeremiah is saying, is he bona fide? Yeah, nothing is ever bona fide. Nothing's ever guaranteed, But personally, I love Sandy Alcantara. I think he's a great pitcher. He's on the right side of 30. He's got a Cy Young under his belt already, and he eats innings. Those are the things I check off my list for. Okay, that's ace material right there. That's ace material. He's an ace that's been pitching for a crappy team. Come on over to Baltimore, Sandy. It's not so. Look, if Garrett Cole didn't get hurt and the Yankees were going into the season the way they thought they were, I wouldn't be having this discussion. because I looked at the way they're set up, and I'm like, well, we can. I know we can still beat this team. We've handled the Yankees the last 2 seasons head to head. I'm okay with it. They've lost Juan Soto. I know who they got. I know they got Devin Williams. I know they got Cody Bellinger. I know they got Goldschmidt. I know who you got, but none of them are Juan Soto. In my humble view, your team took a step back when you couldn't re-sign him, and I know you guys are still hurting over it. My goodness, that whole Soto saga was, yeah. Anyway, let me go over some notes real quick, and then I'm going to sign off because my breakfast is cold now. I wanted to remind everybody that the Spring Breakout game tomorrow evening against the Yankees is something you're not going to want to miss. And Rock Kabatko on Twitter a few hours ago announced who the starter for Baltimore will be. I am probably going to butcher this kid's last name. A fellow by the name of Keeler Morphe, or Morphe, or just plain Morph, M-O-R-F-E. Young right-hander. He's just 5'8", but he's going to start that game, and I'll be interested to see how he looks. So today's game, let's just quickly go over it because it's all really positive news. Good pitching, good defense, and good hitting. Pitching-wise, again, Tomoyuki Sugano started the game. He went 3 innings, started the 4th, got 1 out, gave up a hit, the only hit he gave up. And, yeah, his consecutive scoreless innings to begin his major league career in the spring continues. He has yet to give up a run now in 9 1/3 spring innings. Felix Bautista came in. He got a couple of strikeouts, did not give up a run, and his fastball got up to 98 miles an hour. That is encouraging. In terms of the bats, we were absolutely just destroying the baseball today. Let me give you a few of the highlights here. I mean, we took the Twins to task, as the saying goes. Final score 10-0. And folks, some of these batting averages in the spring right now are very, very appealing. Adley Rutschman with an opposite field homer today. His average is now at 370. He had a couple of RBI. He also drew a walk. Tyler O'Neill had a couple of hits, including a double. His OPS in the spring is over 1,000, and he's hitting 353. Hessen Kjerstad came in to replace O'Neill. He scored a run. Didn't get a hit in only 1 at-bat, but 276 the average. You know, it's not exciting, but at least it's not terrible. You got Colton Cowser hitting 393. He's got a home run today. Jordan Westberg's hitting 294. He's got 2 hits today. Mountcastle's hitting 321, 2 hits and 4 RBI, and is homered for the 3rd consecutive game. Jackson Holliday's in the 280s. He had a hit and scored a couple of runs and drew a walk today. So, and folks, wait till we get Gunnar Henderson back. So I'm telling you, the offense looks ready to go, okay? And so far, I am very pleased with Sugano and Morton in terms of what they can do for the rotation. The bullpen, we'll see. Kittredge is down. Sir Anthony Dominguez and Gregory Soto are guys that I still don't feel all that confident about. But the Mountain is back. Cano looks pretty good. I haven't seen Keegan Aiken pitch. I guess he keeps pitching on days where I'm not following, but he's been pretty dependable. Sino Perez had a scoreless inning the other day. It's all right. Our bullpen wasn't great last year. I believe we were somewhere around 25th, and back in 2023, we were like maybe at the bottom end of the top 10, like 8th or 9th, I want to say. You can double check that. Don't take my word for it. But we were significantly better bullpen ERA in 2023 versus 24. And for my money, the number one thing to point to is 2023, Felix Bautista's your closer. 2024, Craig Kimbrell's your closer. All right? So Craig Kimbrell's out of the picture. The Mountain's back. That instantly makes the bullpen a whole lot better. And yeah, the offense is looking, you know, this team, all these guys have not hit their prime, folks. Look, Gary Sanchez and Sed Mullins, they've struggled. And Ryan O'Hearn's hitting under 200. although he did have a hit today off the bench. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I think Mullins, like I said in my podcast about a month ago, this is going to be the year where they're going to scale him back a little bit, and especially in the beginning of the season before Jorge Mateo is back healthy, I want to utilize Mullins' best attributes, which is his speed and his defense, late in ball games. You bring him in to pinch run. He stays in the game, plays the outfield. Otherwise, Colton Cowser, for me, is more of an everyday center fielder, particularly with that left field wall moved in now. It just allows for, us not to have great defenders in left field like Cowser was for us last season. You can put O'Neill in left. You can put Kjerstad in right, Cowser in center. For most ballparks, I think. Anyway, that's all I got. Anybody got anything else? Any questions or anything else? Who, show of hands, is going to be around for the spring breakout game tomorrow? Come on, make BW feel excited. Let's go. This is going to be fun. I've already got the thumbnail up. I'm proud of it. Where is it? It's got Mayo and Basayo on the front there. It looks good. But yeah, I've already been on for a half an hour, so this was too long. I'm not good at just getting to the point. I wanted this to be 10 minutes. And it's 31. I'm sorry. Mike, pick up the phone. Michael, I mean, as many prospects as we can squeeze in there, yeah. Yeah, expect Basayo to be hitting third or fourth in that lineup, I hope. Yeah, Benny, just right at the bottom of your chat, man. Where's my, here. I'll help you out, dude. Come on, buddy. You see over here? You see down here in this corner where I can type in, and then there's like an emoji icon. You tap that, you got your emojis. Then next to that is a little dollar bill icon. See, when I click on it, I can't get a membership because it's my show. But if you want to send a super chat or a sticker, you should also have a... Oh, wait, no, wait. The memberships, I'm totally wrong. That's below the screen. There should be a little, like, white pill button that says join. Do you see that, Benny? Where you hit the like button, there's also a join, or there's a subscribe, there's a join. Yes, tomorrow at 6 p.m., that is the... I'll be on the air at 5:50. On the main screen. Here, let's go over here. Because everybody should know how this works. If I go to YouTube and I click on a random video.
This is Colton Cowser.
You see how you got subscribe? That's free. You can just subscribe to the channel. Or you can join. Right there next, between the channel name and the like count, you should see these two options, right, Benny? Join and subscribe. You don't see a join button. You just don't see one. That is interesting. But you were a member before? All right. Well, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't know what to tell you, man. But, yeah. That's, nobody sees a join button. What is that about? All right. If I went in with my if I switch accounts, if I go in as myself from my other channel and pop in here. All right, we're going to play Inception. Yeah, see, I've got it right here. I'm already subscribed, and there's the join button. This is me on a separate account watching Orioles Birdwatcher channel just like you would. And there it is. I don't know what to tell you. Are you using a phone or are you using like a laptop? Maybe try a different device. I don't know what to tell you, man. But listen, I've been on for too long. I've probably ruined any chances of this video gaining any traction because of how long it is. But gosh, Mike, make a deal, dude. Look, as long as you go out there and get a quality starter like an Alcantara, and we have to overpay a bit. knowing that it's going to block the Yankees from getting that arm, I'm going to be okay with it. Much more okay than just sitting our hands and watching the Yankees be able to replace their ace with a new ace when we've been sitting here all spring wondering when are we going to get ours. I mean, if they can do it, that means we can do it. You can't sit back and go, well, we couldn't. We tried. We had conversations with this team and that team, but we couldn't even get close to terms on a thing. You know, no, I'm not going to buy it. Look, I love my Orioles. I don't like to disparage them. I don't like to talk trash. I give them the benefit of the doubt, particularly this era of Orioles baseball under this ownership, this GM, this manager, these players. I'm all about it. But, man, you got to step up. You got to pull off a trade. And I'm pretty sure to get the arm we're looking for, it's going to have to require saying goodbye to one of those right-handed corner infield power bats, mainly first base, Mountie or Mayo. We have to. We got to do it. Folks, that's it for me. My breakfast is practically lunch at this point. And again, we'll be back tomorrow on the air, 5:50 p.m. for the 6 o'clock spring breakout game. You're not going to want to miss it. Oriole prospects against the Yankee prospects. I'm not quite sure where the scoreboard for that game is going to be. I was trying to throw it up on my screen, but they've got these breakout games separated from the regular spring training games. Anyway, a bunch of minutia to end the stream. I'm fired up too, Michael. You look younger than last year. What's up with that? I don't know. Well, first of all, I'm in HD this year. Last year, you were looking at me in like 480p. Maybe, it's just the high definition. You can see more wrinkles, which would go against your theory. I don't know. In the meantime, everybody who isn't a member or a subscriber, like Benny, is the subscribe button there? Do you see the subscribe button? I know you're already subscribed, but you can still see it because you can untap it, right? I just don't understand why the join button isn't there for you. But I don't know. I'll tell you what. You Google, why can't I join this YouTube channel? And I'm going to Google, why can't somebody join my YouTube channel? And between the two of us, we'll come up with an answer, okay? Yeah, because we should probably figure that out. When it comes to the behind-the-scenes business part of all this, folks, I don't know. I just want to call ball games. I just want to watch my Orioles play. I want to win a pennant before I die. These are my dreams. All right? That's all I'm asking for. All right, that's it, folks. Mike, pick up the phone. I promise you, dude. I promise you. As long as the guy we're getting isn't like a Trevor Rogers level arm, if you're getting a top-notch arm, a proven arm, a guy who's been an all-star or won a Cy Young Award or pitched 200 innings multiple seasons, a true top-of-the-rotation guy, if you go out there and get him, I'm not going to be mad about what he gave up as long as Samuel Basallo is not in there. I'm assuming Jackson Holliday's not going to be in there. Westberg's not going to be in there. But if we're talking about Mayo, I am now at the point where I'm willing to have that discussion. You know, it needs to be not a rental, not a one-year Michael King, Dylan Cease. It needs to be a guy with some years. It needs to be an Alcantara. It needs to be a Luis Castillo. It needs to be a Pablo Lopez. We need more than just 1 year to give up a guy like that, all right? But I'm still willing to give up more now than I was willing to before because, again, it's sorry to beat a dead horse, but the reason why I'm willing to pay more is because it's not just what we're getting, it's what we're preventing from the Yankees getting. Okay? Do you see how it works like doubly for our advantage? So take whatever the cost is, and really it's just half the cost, You know what I mean? Because that player isn't going to the Yankees now. That's all I'm saying. Or even the Red Sox. Because the thing is, Mike, everybody knows this. You can never have too much pitching. You can never have too much pitching. There is one team in baseball right now that could make a claim that they've got too much, and that's the Dodgers. Now, wouldn't you like to be in that position? Wouldn't you like to be the one other team as successful as the Dodgers are to be able to sit back and go, you know what, maybe we got too many starting pitchers here. Maybe we got too much. They're the only team that has that problem, and they're the World Series champs, and everyone's picking them to do it again. So if that's a problem, let's join that company. Let's become the second team to go, you know what, we got to go get a pitcher, Mike. We've got the bats. We're like Arby's with the meats. We've got the bats. We need the arm. Get her done. And let's kick some ass. Orioles 2025 all the way. First pennant in 42 frickin' years. Starts in 2 weeks. This has been the Bird Watcher. Hope to see you tomorrow night. I'll chirp at you later. Take care.